Now batting the shortstop, number 28, Andrew Aston.
Hello and welcome everybody to this high school state tournament matchup between your Spanish Fork Dons and Corner Canyon baseball team. You just saw a hit right there coming from Corner Canyon. The game already underway. However, so far there has not been any scores. You just missed the first couple pitches there. He'll go back to the dugout as that one was caught. And we'll get underway here. As you've seen, these two teams have been playing well recently. Corner Canyon coming in ranked 30th on the state level, and Spanish Fork coming in at number 2. So obviously a little bit of an advantage there for Spanish Fork. However, coming in here in the state tournament, really anything can happen. I like to kind of compare it to a March Madness type thing. In any single game, you never know what's going to happen because these are still all very good teams making it to the state playoffs. So we'll see what happens today. Right now up to bat is Andrew Aston, or excuse me, Brandon Wiggett, number 9. Already Spanish Fork here with 2 outs. And that will be the third one. So just like that, 3 quick outs, 2 of them on pitching and 1 of them on a catch. We'll get the top of the first to a close, and we'll get you back. Thank our sponsors. They are the Car Guys, Two Jacks Pizza, State Farm, Lance Wilson, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikhail Christensen Wise, Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. These are the guys that make it possible for us to bring you these live sports every week on SF-17.
In the top of the first inning.
So we'd like to thank them for making that all possible. We also like to ask you to follow our social media platforms. They are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And just look for the Spanish Fork 17. You can find live content as well as replays, as well as just what SF-17 will be up to and is up to. So go to there if you want to see a rebroadcast of this game or other rebroadcasts. So with that, we'll And for the batting lineup for Spanish Fork will be Brady Brook to start off. After that, you'll have Tanner Argyle coming in, followed by Kai Nilsson. And So Tanner Argyle will make a quick hit. That will be over into foul territory. So he'll
I actually use glasses, so it's hard to see the ball players. Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Back here at the Spanish Fork Old Fields, we are watching a high school matchup tournament play for the state championship between the Spanish Fork Dons and Corner Canyon. So far, it's been a well-fought game. We have the score 0-2, advantage Dons. The count now quickly getting to 3-0. Down throw in for ball number 4, so he'll get a walk. That's 4 quick walks thrown by Brock Beckstrom. Definitely not a good way to start the inning. However, having a solid first inning, we'll hope that's just a blimp on the radar. And Brock Beckstrom is one of the better pitchers for Spanish Fork, having an earned run average of 1.48. Now thrown to first to keep the runner safe. He will go back to the plate. Thrown again. He'll get back in time once again, and maybe he'll be a bit more conservative here with his leadoff. Doesn't look like he's fearing it much, though. Beckstrom will keep an eye on him. Bounce run in and swung on. May have been a ball. However, it was swung on, so that'll bring the count to 0-2. With 0 outs here in the top of the second inning. Throws over first again. He's really watching that first base. Corner Canyon is a team that will tend to try and steal a lot of bases. We haven't seen it yet today. We'll see if they get into it a little bit more, but they might not even try it if Beckstrom continues to watch it so heavily. That one hit off the ground. It'll bounce up past the pitcher over to the... And he throws it past the first baseman. They'll get a chance to advance to second and third, maybe to home, but the coach holds him up, so unlucky play on that one. May have been in time to get someone out, however, it was missed by the first baseman.
Now batting right fielder number 23, Mason Peters.
So now 0 outs and a man on second and third. Mason Peters will come to the plate. Mason Peters, one of the better hitters for Corner Canyon, earned an average of .439. Down thrown in for a ball. Down hit. Looks like good placement over to the outfield, but it'll be caught in left field. And what a great catch that was.
Now batting the second baseman.
I believe that may have been
Anderson.
Cowden. Can't be sure. However, now the second baseman, Carson Anderson, will come to the plate. Now it looked like it was thrown a little low, but it will be a strike. Count now 0-1. Down it high, over our heads, and over the stands. Count now 0-2. Against Anderson. Anderson, not exactly a heavy hitter for Corner Canyon. And now it'll be strike number 2 for him. He'll go back to the dugout So now 2 outs. Still no runs scored for Corner Canyon.
Now batting the catcher, number 20, Mason Olson.
Mason Olson coming to the plate. Olson, a solid batter for Corner Canyon. We'll see what he can do. May feel a little bit of pressure here as he has runners on second and third with 2 outs. And if he can get a hit here, he could very well put his team in a great position going forward to at least compete in this game. As many weren't expecting too much competition coming in. The shortstop dives, can't reach to it. Fielder gets it, will pass it back over to the pitcher, but not before they can score 1 run and get a man on first. So Nicholas Garrett scores his first run. There'll be a pinch runner coming in.
Designated hitter number 12,
Richards
Hansen. Sending speed up, number 5,
will take the
Nathan
place
Richards.
at the first base. That'll bring up Curtis Hansen, Corner Canyon. Found thrown inside. Looks like it will be a ball. May have been just a little too close on the inside. Found thrown low, almost in the dirt. That'll be ball number 2. Pitcher keeping an eye on that first base. Down thrown inside. That'll be ball number 3. Looks like the umpire's calling this one pretty tight. 3 straight balls. Down thrown. Thrown in for a strike. So the count will be 3-1. If the runner, as I did, thought that one was probably a ball, a little low, he'll return to the plate. Now swung on, tipped, going to the fence. The count all full at 3-2. Hansen getting a good start on Cowden for Spanish Fork. I'll check the first base again and bring the runner back to the base. Down hit over past the shortstop. He'll miss it. That'll go to the fielder. That'll be another run for Corner Canyon. So Marshall Nice scores that one. And Corner Canyon has runners on first and second.
Now batting the third baseman, number 7, Connor Edlin.
Connor Ebling will take his second chance at the plate. The runners being very generous on that one as the basemen are flagging off a little bit on their bases, try and cover the field better. This is very dangerous territory here for Spanish Fork. That will be thrown in for a strike. Count now 1-1. Being at close to a 500 batting average. Down thrown low for ball number 2.
And another ball, the count now 3-1. Runners taking generous leads. Without throwing it off in the dirt for ball number 4. So bases are now loaded.
Now batting shortstop number 28, Andrew Aston.
Andrew Aston will come to the plate. His second chance so far. In that last inning, he did well getting a hit, I believe, however it was, did not lead to a run. Bounce on low in the dirt for ball number 1. Either team showing very good pitching so far this game. Bounce thrown for ball number 2. They'll have a quick talk at the mound. Coaches won't get involved, just a quick talk between catcher and pitcher. Want to make sure they're in sync. Brock Beckstrom will sit up again and try to dig his way out of this hole. Down hit far, almost to the fence. And that'll be 1 run scored. 2 runs scored. And the crowd here is going crazy. We got a lot of people over from Corner Canyon over at this Spanish Fork ballpark, and they're letting us know what they have to say. Just a great hit there by Andrew Ashton, getting himself to second and helping the team to score 3 runs. And so Spanish Fork has decided to have a meeting at the mound, try and discuss how they can get out of this inning and stop the bleeding. Certainly not what they expected coming in here, to be at the top of the second and already have 5 runs scored by Corner Canyon, showing that they can hit in the same league as Spanish Fork.
Now batting first base to number 9, Braden Wingate.
Braden Wingate will come to the plate. Down thrown in for a strike. It's the count 0-1. They'll be looking for 2 more of those to get this top of the second to come to a close. Down into the dirt, we bounce up. Pitcher will catch it, get it to first, and that will be in time for out number 3. It's not the traditional way maybe, but the top of the first will come to a close. The score now 5-2, advantage Corner Canyon. We'd like to take this break to thank our sponsors who make it all possible here on SF17. They are, of course, the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikhail Christian Wise, Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs with personal care. So thank you for all you do. Check out these guys. They are great businesses, providing service not only in the way of supporting our channel, but also supporting the community. So check them out. I'd also like to invite you to check out our social media platforms. They're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. You can find us in any of those. You can find latest updates on what Spanish Fork 17 is up to, as well as reruns of previous broadcasts on our YouTube channel. So check us out there, subscribe, and stay up to date with all the latest from Spanish Fork 17. Get you back down here to the baseball game as we see the players warming up for the bottom of the second inning. If you're just joining us, the score is 5-2. Advantage.
Leading off for the Dogs
Corner
at the
Canyon.
bottom of the second inning, the third baseman, number 15.
Spanish Fork will look to get back in this thing. We're even up the score here in the bottom of the second. We have Ty Newman coming to the plate. He's at almost a 400 batting average. There'll be 2 quick balls thrown there. So the story of mediocre pitching continues with a third straight ball, as both teams struggle in that regard. However, so far, Corner Canyon be able to take a greater advantage of it, scoring 5 runs in that last inning. Down thrown in for a strike, so the count now 3-1. Ogden looking to avoid walking another player. Down hit high. Looks like it'll stay in fair territory, but it will be caught. Great catch there by the right fielder. Looks like it's Mason Peters, I believe. Able to make that catch as he
Now batting the
slides
second baseman,
in.
number 5, Andrew Pintar.
Andrew Pintar coming in to hit for the Dons. Down thrown inside. Almost hit Pintar as he didn't flinch an inch. Maybe trying to see if it would hit him, and maybe just not reacting quick enough either way. That'll be 1 ball, 0 strikes so far. That'll be thrown in for a strike, however. The count now 1-1. Down it, bounce off the dirt, will be over to the second baseman. They'll throw it to first. And with plenty of time, there's out number 2. Corner Canyon starting to show some resiliency here. Not just they can get hot, but that they can play some defense with great fielding.
Now batting
They'll bring up
fielder
Jackson
number 1,
Higginson.
Jackson Higginson.
For Spanish Fork. Down hit, but into foul territory, over on the right side. Higginson will return to the plate. So far, already 2 outs for Spanish Fork with no one on base. Down hit long and far, but looks like it'll land foul. Just about 5 feet past that line. At least the fielder wasn't able to get to it. Good luck for the Spanish Fork Dons. That'll bring the count to 1-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And he was almost hit by that one. Moving his hips a fraction of the inch, looks like, to get out of the way. So that one will, of course, be a ball. Count now 2-2. Down thrown down into the dirt for ball number 3. Higginson sits it into the foul territory, right past his coach. Higginson trying to keep this inning alive. One they'd hope to come back in a little bit after that terrible top of the second. And there's ball number 4. So he'll get to first base the easy way. And that'll bring up Brady Brook for his second chance at bat in this ball game.
Now batting the center fielder, number 2, Brady Brook.
Brady Brook did well in the first inning, but that one hit over the fence for a foul ball. Now will be strike number 1. Hit again, over past first and past second baseman. It'll be caught by the fielders, thrown over all the way to third. They'll stop the runner at third, but Brady Brook will get to first base. So just like that, we have runners on first and third. And they'll bring up Tanner Argyle,
Now batting the shortstop,
who is conveniently
Tanner Argyle.
one of the Dons' best batters, if not the best batter for the Dons, percentage-wise. Down thrown in tight. We ball number 1. Tanner doing a great job of selling that, making sure the umpire called it his way. Down thrown in for a strike. The count now 1-1. Down thrown in for ball number 2. And pitchers like Dayton Hagen have a great advantage over right-handed pitchers, as he can see the first base the whole time. You see him eyeing it between every play. Hits it over to shortstop. They'll get it to first. And they would have had a chance for double play, but didn't need it, because that will be 3 outs, which will bring the second inning to a close. The score 5-2 advantage Corner Canyon. Stay with us and we'll take a short commercial break, but we'll see you on the other side for the rest of this game between the Spanish Fork Dons and your Corner Canyon baseball team.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to Spanish Fork Baseball here on SF-17. Today they're taking on the Corner Canyon baseball team in the state championship tournament. This is only the second round. However, a good one here already. Spanish Fork coming in as the favorites, but with another hit, Corner Canyon will not get another player on base. The umpire taking a minute to call that one. So he'll return to the dugout. That was Nicholson Garrett for Corner Canyon. So one quick out so far here in the top of the third. Down at high and into foul territory. He'll not be able to get there in time to make the catch. Down thrown in for strike number 2 as it is swung on. Down hit far, it'll be a floater. And an easy catch there. 2 quick outs here. Twice close to being great plays for Corner Canyon, but didn't go their way. Spanish Fork will need some luck to get back in this thing and retake control. However, I don't think they're too worried at this point. As I was stating earlier, they're coming in as the favorites. having only lost one game so far in region play. That one hit over. The shortstop will get it, and back to first. Won't be in time. The runner will be safe. That's number 23, Mason Peters, getting to first base. Spanish Fork, as I was saying, coming out with only one loss in region play. 3 losses overall, and ranked number 2 nationally. Definitely a favorite over this ranked number 30 Corner Canyon baseball team. So they have a lot of firepower, can get back in this thing and take the lead in no time. But still not a good position to be in if you're Spanish Fork on your field. Down thrown over, looks like if it was in time, and he will call it after a second of deliberation. So 3 quick outs there, all done by the fielding and the throwing here for Spanish Fork. In a second, we'll get you the bottom of the third, but first we'd like to thank our sponsors for all they do for us here on SF17. There are, of course, the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, sporting goods for all seasons, Mikhail Christensen Wise, attorneys at law, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs and personal care, Two Jacks Pizza, and State Farm, Lance Wilson. These guys make it possible for us to do these broadcasts, so check them out and see the services they're providing for the Spanish Fork community. I'd like to invite you to follow our social media platforms via our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Look for Channel 17 and subscribe. You'll be able to find content from us as well as rebroadcasts. Getting back down to the field here, we have, looks like the same pitcher warming up, Dayton Hagen. There'll be no change there. And at first, this inning for the Spanish Fork Dons will be Kai Nilsson. Kai Nilsson, a solid batter for Spanish Fork. Not one of the real heavy hitters, but very well rounded overall player. Let's see if he can lead them off in a positive way. Down thrown in for strike number 1. Looked to be a little bit of a curve on that one. I mean, tricked out Kai Nilsson. Down thrown low and in the dirt for ball number 1. Down hit almost into the legs of the pitcher. He'll get plenty of time to get to first. However, he'll hold up there, the ball being too close to second to risk it. So Kai Nilsson getting on base.
Now batting the first.
Briggs Newman will come up
Newman
to the plate for his chance at bat. Down also hit, grounder over the shortstop. Get to first. Oh, it looks like he was getting it to second in time, but it will not be as he wobbles the ball. It'll fall short of the catcher's glove. And that'll give just enough time for Kai Nilsson to get to second. So a quick error there allows Spanish Fork to get 2 men on base with no out so far in this inning. Decided to have a quick meeting at the mound. Discuss things over, and Spanish Fork coach, why is he taking this time to instruct his players a little bit on what they should be looking to do? Thrown back to second. He'll be safe and he'll stay where he is. Down, hit into foul territory, just behind the line. The catcher for Corner Canyon doing well on that play to stay with it. Not calling it off until he was sure the umpire had called that a foul ball. They return to their places. And this Corner Canyon team really getting, I don't want to say lucky, but getting a good hand here in this game so far, because they really haven't pitched too well. However, they've been able to come up with 5 runs and only let go of 2. That one not turning out too well as the pitcher took 1 second to decide whether to throw it to first or third. That allowed enough time for the runners to get to both. So now it's 0 outs with 3 men on base so far in this inning. However, like I was saying, neither team has pitched well so far. Corner Canyon not having quite as deep as a pitching lineup as Spanish Fork. But even with not pitching well, Corner Canyon stands with a 3-run lead. Not a bad spot to be in. On the way field at a higher ranked team as your opponent. It doesn't look like too good a body language there from Corner Canyon. Coach trying to get them more engaged here, especially his pitcher.
Now batting for the Dons and catcher number 7, Josh Cowden.
Josh Cowden coming in to bat for the Dons. Down thrown low in the dirt for ball number 1. It's always hard when you have a talk in the mound and then you go back and your pitcher starts out with a ball, but we'll see if he can get in a groove here. Down thrown to ball number 2. Down thrown low, almost in the dirt. Ball number 3. So with one more ball, that would be a forced run. Going to put Spanish Fork in a better position to continue this comeback they're making. And there it is. That'll bring Kai Nilsson in for a run. Score now 5-3 in the bottom of the 3rd with 0 outs and the bases loaded.
Number 15, Dave Newman.
Looks like Spanish Fork has a very good potential of scoring a few more in this inning, as you see so often in baseball. When 1 run is scored, there'll be an outburst of it. That one thrown wide for ball number 1. And as I've watched Spanish Fork over this season, I've certainly noticed their poise in situations where they are down. They seem to be kind of a streaky team, if you will, scoring in bunches. And they know when they are down, they can get back hot. They can get a few more hits and get their good batters up to the plate. They're really playing well in those type of situations. Foul thrown in for strike number 1. So that quick meeting at the mound may have helped. This time, count now 2-1 with 0 outs here in the bottom of the third. So the count full here with 3-1. Danger of forcing another run here. If so, the coach might have to start thinking about what he'll do for pitching for the rest of this game. Down thrown for a strike, just tipped off with a foul ball. Down hit high, will be foul ball as well. Looks like it's just over the fence. Nope, it will be just inside, and the catcher will get to it for an out. So Dayton saved a little bit there with his catcher making that catch and sending that batter to the dugout. And we'll need a couple more of those or some very solid pitching for the next two batters in order to get out of this one. Andrew Pintar coming up the plate for Spanish Fork. Down hit will be foul ball. Looks like over the fence. No chance getting to it there for the fielders. So count now 0-1. Another foul ball flying over the fence. Looking at the crowd here, it seems to actually be fairly evenly split. Obviously a little bit more Spanish Fork fans here than Draper fans. However, it does look fairly evenly split, which is impressive considering they had to drive a long way to get here. That one hit high into the outfield, will be caught for an out. They'll throw it in. There'll be a couple touchbacks going on here. That will be another run scored for Spanish Fork, as well as a runner advancing to third. The score now 5-4. Corner Canyon up. That will, however, also bring the out count to 2.
Now batting the left
So not
fielder,
all
number 1,
bad
Jackson Higginson.
for Corner Canyon. Jackson Higginson up to bat. Jackson Higginson, a senior for Spanish Fork. Down caught in time by the first baseman. He'll put his foot down, and that will bring us to the end of the third inning. The score 5-4. It's been a good one so far. Join us in a minute when we'll come back, but first we'll take a short break.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to this SF-17 production of this high school Utah State tournament baseball matchup between Spanish Fork Dons and Corner Canyon of Draper. So far it's been a good game. The score 5-4, advantage Draper, which has surprised a few of us here as Draper came out and scored 5 runs in the second inning. Now we're at the top of the fourth inning. Draper gets a hit. That'll go over to the midfielder. He'll throw over to second base, not trying for first. A good decision there. So Draper will get a man on first. They'll bring in a pinch hitter.
Running speed up, number 5, Peyton Richards.
That'll be Peyton Richards coming in, plays for Hanson as a pinch runner. Richards already used a couple times as a runner, one of Corner Canyon's faster players. And that one hit. Looks like just in time. So that will be one out there and one safe. Wasn't able to tag the player, went right underneath the glove when he slid into second. However, he was able to get to first base just in time to get that out. So one out and a runner on second. And as I was saying before, if you're just joining us, it's the top of the fourth with one out so far in this inning. Spanish Fork showing some resiliency in that last inning, scoring 2 runs. That one hit over to the shortstop. He'll fumble it, try to get it back in time to home, and he will. That one will be an out. Nice save there, way to stay with the play. The shortstop, a little bit disappointed in himself when he fumbled that. However, they were able to stay with the play and get it to home in time. Risky move there by the Draper runner.
Andrew Aston.
So now 2 outs and a man on second. I'll bring up Carson Anderson, I believe. Oh, excuse me, Andrew Ashton for Corner Canyon. That will be the first strike. Now thrown in for strike number 2. Andrew Aston, not one of the better hitters for Corner Canyon, however, still a very solid player. That one looked like could have been a chuck swing. However, it will be a ball. Down hit will be foul ball, however, going off the tip of his bat over to left field and over the fences. The Spanish Fork coaching staff try to figure out a way to minimize the production of this Corner Canyon hitting squad. So far, Spanish Fork has been pretty true to form with their runs scored. However, Corner Canyon has been much better against them, as most teams have been, and will score 5 in the second. Down thrown in for a ball, bringing the count to 3-2. Brock Beckstrom has been seeming to throw a little bit better of a game these last couple of innings. Maybe picking his game up. And he gets over to first in time to make that play. Great awareness by Brock to get there in time and to help out his fielders, who were distracted trying to get the ball. And that will bring the top of the fourth to a close by a great play by Brock Beckstrom and the right fielder. So we'll take this moment to thank our sponsors.
In the top of the fourth inning,
They are, of
Travelers
course,
had no runs.
the car guys,
On one
Triple T
hit,
Heating, Cooling and Plumbing,
one Spanish Fort
MVP
Fair,
Sports,
and one
Sporting
run
Goods
left on
for
base.
all seasons. Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs, personal care. Mikhail Christian Wise, attorneys at law, Two Jacks Pizza, and of course Lance Wilson, State Farm. These guys make it possible for us to bring you these broadcasts, so check them out. I'd also like to invite you to follow our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. There you can find rebroadcasts of many sporting events as well as the latest on what SF17 is up to. There'll also be live posts as far as events that are happening. So make sure to follow those and subscribe. Get you back down to the game here. The Dons having co-players warming up a bat, and I'd like to give a quick shout out also to our camera guys. Always doing well. It's not easy climbing on top of that dugout, I'll tell you. Nowadays we have a ladder. We didn't even used to have a ladder. And there's Reg. Also one of our favorite camera guys here at SF17. So we'll have Josh Cowden up.
Leading off the Dons, bottom of the fourth inning, the center fielder number 2, Brady Brook.
Or excuse me, that is not Josh Cowden, that is Brady Brook. That 2 looked like a 7. Brady Brook's doing well so far in this game, getting a couple good hits. Down, thrown into the dirt. Ball number 1, so the count now 1-1. Another one into the dirt. Ball number 2. Another one in the dirt. So 3 straight balls, almost in the exact same spot. One of those frustrating moments for Dalton Hagen. Now Cole bounces over to the second baseman. We throw to the first with plenty of time. So that'll be out number 1. So despite a little bit of shaky hitting right there, Corner Kane comes away
Now batting
with an out.
shortstop, number 3, Tanner Argyle.
Tanner Argyle with a good hit, but the right fielder able to get there in time for a catch. The fielding here for Corner Canyon has been great so far.
Now
Spanish Fork seems to be heating up the longer this game goes on with their hitting. However, based on the fielding that Corner Canyon has done, we haven't seen it have much of an effect. Down, thrown in for strike number 1. Down hit right between the fielders. Oh, no. The second baseman able to get back in time and able to make that catch. So that'll be 3 quick ones for Corner Canyon, bringing that bottom of the 4th inning to a close. So we'll take a break here in a minute. The score 5-4 advantage Corner Canyon. Going to the other side for the 5th inning.
Dons had no runs on no hits.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to SF17's production of this Spanish Fork Corner Canyon matchup in the Utah State Tournament for high school 4A baseball. If you're just joining us, it's the top of the 5th inning, and we've seen a good one so far. Score 5-4, Corner Canyon leading. Still able to hold on to that. The last inning, either team scoring a run. Bounce run low in the dirt for a ball. So 2 balls, 0 strikes so far is the count. Up to bat is Brandon Wiggett, you see there. Bounce run for a strike, so the count now 2-1. With 0 strikes so far in the top of the 5th. Down thrown. Low, looked like a curveball, tricked out Brandon Wiggett into swinging for it. The count now 2-2. Down hit high. Looks like it'll be foul, but may be caught. And it is. So 1 quick out. Putting Spanish Fork in a good position to start this 5th inning. Being in good positions. Corner Canyon certainly is in a good position here, leading after 4 innings. Not most would have expected, as the 30th ranked team comes in to face the 2nd at their baseball field. However, like I said at the beginning, anything can happen in these state tournament games. You got a lot of good teams who can play good on some nights and better on others. And when you got a better night playing a good night, the better one's probably going to win. Down thrown in for a strike. The count now 1-1. Down thrown in for strike number 2. Beckstrom coming out strong in his 5th inning. Down thrown wide for a ball. Count now 2-2. Hit, but into foul territory. So the count will remain even at 2-2. Down hit as well, into foul territory. Runner will give up on going for that one, so the count will be 2-2. Ooh, and that one thrown actually behind the batter's legs. Do a good job of getting out of the way of that. Also a very good catch by that catcher. Able to go around his legs, down hit off the ground, over to the shortstop, will be thrown to first. Looks like it could have been in time, however it will be missed. He'll decide to walk on over to second with plenty of time there. Hesitating for a moment, but seeing how Spanish Fork hesitated as well, he had a little bit of extra time. No one really knew who was going for that one. Catcher finally making it over there to recover the missed catch. So now runner on second with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. And a lot of people were worried today about the weather. As we see in parts of Utah, there's a lot of snow today. I was up in Orem earlier, and those huge snow flurries. They would be on and off, but there was a lot of it. However, it's just not sticking because of the warm weather. Everything that hits the ground is just evaporating almost instantaneously. And here it's no different. We did get a little bit of moisture earlier on in the day, but field conditions are still very good, considering how warm it is, and really might be a nice break for some of these players who play in some pretty hot weather this time of year. Today a little bit cooler. Down swung on and missed for strike number 1. Count now 2-1. Now down low for ball number 3. Brock Beckstrom in a tight situation here. Down hit high and far over to left field. But it will be caught. They'll get it over to third. But the runner will have time to get back to second. So 2 outs there and no damage done against Spanish Fork. They'll bring up Mason Peters for Corner Canyon. Down thrown a little low for ball number 1. And strike number 1 will go down there as he swings for that one. Peter looking to get one big hit with that one. Peter's one of the best hitters for Corner Canyon. Down hit far and to the right. Looks like it will be caught, however, and it is. That will bring the top of the inning to a close. Spanish Fork once again able to keep Corner Canyon off the scoreboard for that inning. The count remains 5-4, advantage Corner Canyon. So we'll take a quick moment here to thank our sponsors. They're, of course, Two Jacks Pizza, State Farm, Lance Wilson, Mikkel Christian and Wise, Attorneys at Law, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs with personal care, MVP Sports, sporting goods for all seasons, Schulte Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and the Car Guys. All these local businesses help out SF17 as well as the community. Check them out. We'd also like to invite you to follow our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for SF17 or Spanish Fork 17 rather, and follow us and you'll see everything that SF17 is up to. Get back down to the game down here. We have the players warming up. And so far we've seen excellent fielding from both teams. Mediocre pitching, but excellent fielding that has made up for that, keeping a very high-scoring Spanish Fork team under wraps so far. They've still scored 4 runs, but they haven't had any of the breakout innings that they can have. And keeping Corner Canyon scoreless in all but 1 inning. That inning they were able to score 5 runs, however. Not a good thing to have on the scoreboard. However, the game is tight, which is much better than a lot of people could have hoped for coming in. There's this odd feeling, though, being here at the ballpark. It just feels like a Spanish Fork is getting more consistent with getting hits, even though the fielding has been good enough to make those hits obsolete for Corner Canyon. It just feels like inevitably Spanish Fork is going to have one of those innings. That one hit over into the dugout area for strike number 1. And maybe Corner Canyon can keep Spanish Fork from having one of those innings. But as I say, it feels like if they will, and if they do, Corner Canyon is going to need to match that. So far, only getting hot once with the bat. See if they can do it again. Down thrown low and in the dirt for ball number 1. So the count now 1-2. Down thrown for ball number 2. Count evens up. Down hit over to the second baseman. Will be thrown to first. Looks like he'll have plenty of time, and he will make the catch. So that will be out number 1 of this inning.
Now batting the right fielder, number 20, Brendan Bradford.
Once again, the second baseman making a great play. I believe that's Carson Anderson for Corner Canyon. They'll bring up Brendan Bradford. He'll get a hit. It will be over between the two fielders, but it looks like midfielder will get there in time. So that'll be the second out here in this inning. Corner Canyon making quick work of Spanish Fork for the last couple innings. Spanish Fork also keeping Corner Canyon scoreless, however, sometimes take a little bit longer to do it. Foul thrown low inside, curving outside of that foul box. Count 1-0. Down thrown low, almost in the dirt. However, that actually will be counted as a strike. Looks like it just clipped that outside corner of that zone. Down thrown for ball number 2. So now 2 outs, 1 strike, and 2 balls. So ball number 3 thrown there. The count now 3-1. Spanish Fork could use this walk. If they get it, they'll get Taya Newman coming up to the plate. And there it is. So not much gained or lost there as far as the advantage that Corner Canyon's pitcher Hagen will have on this pitching. Both batters close to a 400 average. That one hit over past the third baseman. It'll stay fair good enough or long enough to get the 2 runners on first and second. Ones like that are very hard to play if you're the third baseman. We saw it going almost right over the base, which kept it into fair territory. However, sometimes you wonder if you should try to catch them or if you should let them fly, as then they may be foul ball. He may have hesitated on that one just slightly, allowing it to get past him, and it eventually did go foul, which made the left fielder not able to get to it in time. So Corner Canyon will take a minute to discuss such strategies at the mound, leaving the fielders in the outfield. So now it's runners on first and second. Corner Canyon starting to feel some pressure, however, they only need 1 out to close out this top, or rather bottom of the 5th. Andrew Pintar coming to bat for Spanish Fork. Second base runner took a large lead right there. However, he's able to get back in time. Looks like he'll take another one here. That will be swung on for strike number 2. Excuse me, strike number 1. Andrew Pintar, not really known for his batting. Not a very good batting average, however, he has gone on base very often this year, finding ways to get there. Down thrown low in the dirt for ball number 1. The count now 1-1. Thrown over to second. He'll get there in time to be safe. Close one on that. Runners will take their leads once again. That one will be a ball for ball number 2. The count now 2-1 with 2 outs. Here at the bottom of this 5th. Down hit, it'll be bounced up. Looks like it'll be called a foul ball. Hitting foul territory for it, bounced up into the green. Bounce throw far wide and high. Count all full now, 3-2 and 2 outs. Thrown over to the second. He'll be safe, getting back in time. This every hitter's dream and nightmare. The count full with the bases. 2 men on base. And that one was Chuck swing, but it will be counted as a ball. So the bases will now be loaded. So now Jackson Higginson will come to bat. Jackson Higginson certainly could be feeling the pressure here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Has a lot of potential here to do a lot of good for his team. Downtown low in the dirt. Pitching really beginning to go back down so far in this 5th inning. Hasn't shown the scoreboard so far, but with that hit, it will go over to the first baseman. He'll get it over the pitcher in time. Well, looks like it won't be in time. He'll be safe. Corner Ken letting the umpire know that they don't agree with that call. Looked like he began to call it safe and then, or out, excuse me, and then decided to call it safe. In any case, that will be another run scored for Spanish Fork. That will make it all tied up here at 5-5 in the bottom of the 5th. Once again, the bases being loaded. Umpires will take a minute to talk it over, however. Maybe the other one saw something different, or maybe they actually are taking into consideration something that Corner Canyon had said. But the call will remain as you hear an ovation from the stands here. not a good call for Corner Canyon. Not just the one run, however, after this, Brady Brook will be coming up to bat. Brady Brook, one of the better batters for Spanish Fork. The last few batters have been solid players, however, Brady Brook is in their top echelon of batters, and a hit here could mean as many as 4 runs. He approaches the plate slowly, making sure everything is okay to go. He'll decide to take a quick break and talk to his coaches. Corner Canyon do the same. The fans here letting the umpire know what they think of the calls. If you can hear any of that. That last call, however, a very close call. Doesn't seem like one you can really bicker on one way or the other. Looks like there will be a pitching change, however, for Corner Canyon. As I said earlier, Corner Canyon, they're not that deep as far as pitching goes. Only having a couple of pitchers who have been consistently good throughout this season. So we'll see what this new pitcher can do for him as he gets warmed up. And Spanish Fork showing a lot of resiliency here. They've been met with really a surprise with how well Corner Canyon has played, especially their fielding, keeping Spanish Fork to just 5 runs, which doesn't seem like a big feat, but for a team like Spanish Fork, who scored 13 in their last game, it's not too easy of a task. See here, the runners are returned to their bases.
Now pitching for the Chargers, number 28, Andrew Aston.
So Andrew Aston will begin pitching for the Chargers. Andrew Aston averaging a 2.39 pitching earned run average.
Now batting the
So he's
number 2, Brady
their second
Brook.
best pitcher, numbers-wise. Could actually be, could very well see some improved pitching here. But based on that, we'll have to see. 1 ball and 0 strikes with 2 outs here in the inning. Down thrown low as well for ball number 2. Down swung on for a strike. The count now 2-1. Down hit, be deep right, and a catch. So that will bring the inning to a close. Spanish Fork able to score 1, but Corner Canyon able to stop the bleeding before it got too bad. The score now all tied up at 5-5. We'll see you in a minute for the 6th inning. Stay with us.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to this game between Spanish Fork and Draper, Utah Canyon, or Corner Canyon, excuse me. It's been a great matchup so far in this state tournament between these two teams. The score 5-5, all tied up. We've seen Spanish Fork consistently scoring in 3 separate innings to get to that 5 runs. And we've seen Corner Canyon getting 5 runs real quick out of the gate in the 2nd inning. Spanish Fork since then has been very good at shutting them down. We'll see if they continue to do that here in the top of the 6th. Foul thrown a little high for ball number 1. So Anderson gets a hit just in fair territory. He'll stop at first. A little bit of a lucky break for Corner Canyon. They'll see if they can regain this lead. Certainly never easy playing from behind. They'll want to make sure they keep that pressure on Spanish Fork. So I bring up number 20, Olsen, Mason Olsen, for Corner Canyon. Down hit short, over to the pitcher, over to first. That will be plenty of time for that out. But there'll be a sacrifice bunt, getting his runner over to second. So 1 out so far and a runner on second. That will bring up Curtis Hansen, number 12, take his turn at the plate. Curtis Hansen, not the best batter, however he is pretty good at getting on base. Down low. However, he will count, the umpire will count that as a swing for strike number 1. Down throw, wide left, ball number 2, the count now 2-1. Runner taking a generous lead off second. They'll get halfway between second and third before deciding to come back on that ball in the dirt. Bounce thrown in for ball number 4, getting him to first base. Curtis Hansen, that is.
Number 7, Connor Ebling.
We'll take a quick moment to talk it over on the mound. For Spanish Fork, it's now number 21, T. Sorensen, pitching for the Dons. They'll keep him out there, just give him a couple words of advice. Be premature to take him back in at this point, having just gotten started here. With runners on first and second, there's one out in this inning. Down thrown low in the dirt. Catcher will get to it in time to avoid any advancement by the base runners. They'll decide to get a new ball. And Sorensen, the junior, will get things started here. Now thrown in for a strike. The count now 1-1. Connor Ebling is the batter here for Corner Canyon. Connor, one of the best hitters, and he shows it there. Getting it over to first baseman, will throw to second. They'll get it over to first. And that will be in time for the double play. The team and the crowd jump up in cheers. Certainly a close one there. May have gotten a little bit of luck on that call as well. In any case, that will bring the top of the sixth to a close. The score 5-5. Take a second here to thank our sponsors here at SF17. They're, of course, the car guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, sporting goods for all seasons, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs with personal care, Mikkel Christian Wise, attorneys at law, Two Jacks Pizza, and State Farm, Lance Wilson. They make this possible, so check them out and check out all they do for the Spanish Fork community. I'd also like to invite you to follow us on our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Those platforms, just look for Spanish Fork 17. You'll find rebroadcasts as well as everything that SF17 is up to. So subscribe and follow for the latest. Getting you back down to the field here, we see looks like maybe a new pitcher warming up. Looks like Mason Olson. Or no, it's actually Andrew Aston warming up for Corner Canyon as the new pitcher.
Leading off the Dons in the bottom of the sixth inning, the shortstop, number 3, Tanner Argyle.
Number 3, Tanner Argyle will be leading off for the Dons. A power hitter. Down going in for a ball, the count 1-0. Down hit high, will be fair, but will it be caught? Two catchers almost colliding, but the shortstop called off for that catch. Great call by Marshall Neese, left fielder. They'll bring in number 11, Kai Nielsen.
Number 11, Cy Nielsen.
And Nielsen, a solid batter for Spanish Fork. Foul thrown in for ball number 1. This one out so far this inning, Corner Canyon. Getting that one quick. Found it high over our heads. So that's now evening up the count at 1-1. If you're just joining us, it's the bottom of the 6th inning. There'll be a hit there. Down hit long, but barely staying fair. That will give the runner enough time to get to second base. Spanish Fork looking to heat up here like I've talked about all game. I'll bring up Briggs Newman.
Now batting first baseman number 14, Briggs Newman.
And so far, Andrew Aston hasn't been much of a game changer so far as the relief pitcher. Certainly not making any worse. However, as a relief pitcher, you want to come in and get some outs. Hasn't happened so far. Both teams still fighting to take this lead as they've done the last 2 innings. That one hit will be straight to the shortstop, over to second base, but not as enough time. So the second base runner will get back to base in time. Will be no out there.
Now batting right fielder number 20, Brendan Bradford.
It will be an out, however, with the initial hit on the play, so that's 2 outs so far this inning. Brendan Bradford is now at plate, getting his first crack at it, and he'll get a hit on the first try. That'll be over to third baseman. He'll throw it to first, and he'll get there in time. That will be the 3rd out, and that will bring this bottom of the 6th inning to a close. The score remains 5-5, and we'll see you in a second. Stay with us.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to the Spanish Fork matchup between Spanish Fork and Corner Canyon here on SF17. It's been a great game so far. It's tied if you're just joining us. It's here at the top of the 7th inning. It's tied at 5-5. We've seen consistent effort from Spanish Fork, scoring in 3 innings and 1 hot inning from Corner Canyon. However, consistent effort by them with fielding to keep Spanish Fork at this low score of only 5 runs. This is the 2nd round of the state tournament. That one swung on for a strike. Count now 0-1. Of course, the winner of this game will go on to play the winner between Sidham Hill and Skyridge. That game also happening today. Should be also nearing a close. The pitcher will get over to first base in time for that out. So one quick out here for Spanish Fork.
Braden Wingett.
Braden Wingett coming in for Corner Canyon. And it's looking more and more like this one's going to come down to that last inning. Down thrown for a ball, bringing the count to 2-0. A lot of people coming into this one thinking this might be a lopsided battle, maybe even one that was in danger of being called with a mercy ruling. However, certainly hasn't been the case here. I believe it's really going to come down to that last inning to see who wins it. Down hit just over the pitcher's head, over to the second baseman, who makes a great catch. Reaching up with his left hand over his shoulder and able to catch that one.
Now batting center fielder number 14, Nicholson Garrett.
So Brandon Wiggett will return to the dugout as Garrett comes to the plate. Now swung on and missed. Strike number 1. Down, hit in the dirt. Will be a ball. No danger situation there as he's able to take his time with no runners on base. Down thrown in for strike number 2. Count now 1-2 with 2 outs here. Sorensen's looking for a third strike here to bring the top of the 7th to a close. Down hit over to the shortstop. Shortstop looks like he has enough time. He'll throw it to first, and that will be in time for out number 3 here in the top of the 7th. Spanish Fork able to keep Corner Canyon scoreless for the 5th straight time in as many innings. So we'll take a second here to thank our sponsors. Of course, the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, MVP Sports, sporting goods for all seasons, Mikhail Christian Wise, attorneys at law, Two Jacks Pizza, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs with personal care, and State Farm with Lance Wilson. Check those guys out, and we'd like to thank them for all they do for supporting Spanish Fork 17 and the community. We'd also like to invite you to follow some social media platforms. So these social media platforms are Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Look for Spanish Fork 17. If you find that, you'll be able to find replays and content of Spanish Fork 17, as well as the latest on what we're covering. So follow them and subscribe and stay up to date. Getting back down to the field here, you see the players warming up for the bottom of the 7th inning. This game really has been an interesting matchup between these two teams, as we've seen a lot of connections on pitches, however not a lot of on base players on base or runs, simply because of the fielding and because of at least the decent pitching that have not allowed too good of hits. A lot of them have been short grounders. So this mediocre pitching and the great fielding has kept the score relatively low. That one thrown in for a strike, as Andrew Aston seems to be getting more in his groove for this last inning or so. Down swung on a hit over the pitcher's head. He'll get it over to the second baseman. He'll get it over to first in time. So that will be an out. They'll throw a whip around and get it back to the pitcher. That'll bring up Taya Newman.
Now batting third baseman number 15, Tay Newman.
He connects on the first hit. It'll go high, plenty of time to get under it, but there's three fielders. They'll communicate well and get that catch. So 2 very quick outs here in the first couple plays of this inning.
Now batting the second baseman number 5, Andrew Pintar.
It brings up Andrew Pintar, excuse me. Pintar also get a hit. It'll be foul. The coach for Spanish Fork collecting it and giving it to third baseman. Ventar will get another chance at it. Let's count now 0-1 with 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 7th. Down thrown in for strike number 2. Ventar quickly down the count, 2-0. Down connected on will be far into the outfield. And wasn't able to quite see that one, but based on the cheering, it looks like he made that catch. That will bring the inning to a close with 3 outs. So a quick scoreless inning. That will bring us back to the 8th inning in a second, but first we'll have a commercial break. Join us on the other side.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome back to this matchup between Spanish Fork and Corner Canyon in 4A Baseball State Tournament. If you're just joining us, we're at the top of the 8th inning. It's been a great one so far. Score 5 versus 5. We haven't seen a lot of scoring in the last couple innings, however. Both teams coming up with 2 goose eggs. And here the count already, with that one already 3-0. With 0 outs here in the inning. Bounce run for a strike, just catching the edge. The outside of that zone. Sorensen looking to work his way back here. Down hit. Down will be a long foul ball, however. Count now full. Sorensen able to work his way back. Let's see if he's able to close it out. Down hit will be over to the second baseman. He'll get it over to first with plenty of time. So that will be out number 1. So those balls quickly erased with the work from his second baseman. Sorensen able to get a new start here. That will be against Mason Peters, number 23. Bouncer in for a strike. Down will be ball. So ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out so far in the inning. Spanish Fork looking to get a couple more of these shutouts they've been getting the last few innings, or rather the last 5. Shouldn't call it a shutout really, but they want to keep Corner Canyon for just 2 more innings scoreless, as well as score once themselves, so they can bring this thing to a close. Down thrown in for strike number 3. So that'll be 2 outs. They'll need 1 more to bring this inning to a close. Sorensen throwing very well since he got put in.
Number 6, Colson Anderson.
And down thrown in for ball number 1. Bounce run for, looks like he was hit on that one. So he'll head over to first base. Most of the fielders suspected a bunt on that one. Sorensen may have suspected that as well and been trying to make it especially hard for him to get that bunt. Made it a little bit too hard. That'll bring up Mason Olson, number 20. That'll be thrown low into the dirt, but the runner, Anderson, will not advance. The count now 2-0 with 2 outs here. Olsen gets a hit, he'll go over to third base. He'll get it over to first. And it looks like that will be in time. Spanish Fork rushes back to their dugout. And their dugout rushes out to congratulate them. Certainly playing well the fielding game, at least for the last 6 innings. They'll get a chance in a second to see if they can take the lead they've been fighting for since the second. We'll take a quick moment to thank our sponsors here. Of course, the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Mikkel Christensen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, Two Jacks Pizza, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairers with personal care, and State Farm's Lance Wilson. These guys make it possible for us to bring these broadcasts as well as many other things that we do. I'd like to thank them for all that they do in support of our channel and the Spanish Fork community. You can also follow us on our Instagram platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you go there, you can find rebroadcasts of many of our events as well as the latest on what we're covering. Check us out, subscribe to keep up to date. Getting back down to the field here, we'd like to talk a little bit about how this game's been going so far. It's the bottom of the 8th if you're just joining us. Hopefully or not, as it's been a good game, especially seeing how these teams have fought. Corner Canyons to hold on to the lead since that second inning. Really getting hot there in that one. Maybe a little bit of luck there as well. Since then, however, Spanish Fork has looked like the better team, especially on the hitting end of the ball. However, both teams having very good fielding. Here they're looking to take that lead that they've coveted since the second inning. Foul thrown in, kind of slow. A strike, looks like he just was not ready for that one. Briggs Newman. And that one, he'll swing on. Looks like he may have just got a piece of it off the edge of his bat. Also got a piece of the glove. That will be now the count 0-2. And that one will be swung on in the dirt. He'll go for first, and they'll get it over in time for an out. That'll bring up number 2, Brady Brook.
Now batting the center fielder, number 2, Brady Brook.
And Brady Brook, as well as a lot of these guys, have been doing a very good job getting the bat on the ball, but a very poor job of actually converting that into runs. Spanish Fork has had a lot of runners left on base, as well as a lot of caught fly balls against them, that is. The count now quickly to 0-2. Andrew Aston pitching very well so far in this inning. Now thrown over a little wide, ball number 1. The count now 1-2. Down hit, but it will be foul ball. So the count will remain the same, 1-2, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And if Spanish Fork can score here in this inning, it will really put a lot of pressure on Corner Canyon, as the next inning will be the 9th and final inning, which will mean that Corner Canyon would have to score or the game would be over. Down hit long. In between the two fielders. Looks like the middle fielder will get to it on time. That will be another out. Excellent play covering maybe 30 or 40 feet running to the ball.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Tanner Argyle.
Tanner Argyle comes up to the plate, number 3. He'll hit it. That will be foul ball, however. High, and over the fence. So Argyle will come back to the plate. The count now 0-1 rather. Tommy thrown for strike number 2. So on some great pitching by Andrew Aston. Now the count 0-2 with 2 outs. Argyle feeling the pressure. That one be low and in the dirt. Ball number 1. Great job not swinging on that one in a tight situation. Down thrown high. Ball number 2, the count now 2-2. 2 outs. Argyle showing a lot of patience here. Letting Andrew help him get back in this one there. That one hit foul ball again. Count remains 2-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of this 8th inning. Argyle patient on that one. The ball number 3. However, the crowd here, as you can hear, is not very pleased with that one. Believing that one should have been a strike. Looked like a curve just before it got into that strike zone. They probably believe it curved just after. Down hit high for a catch, however, so it won't matter either way. So that will bring the bottom of the 8th inning to a quick close. The score still 5-5. Both teams scoreless in the last few innings. We'll see what happens in the 9th coming right up after this quick break.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Welcome back to this game between the Spanish Fork Dons and Warner Canyon in the 4A state tournament. It's only the 2nd round so far, still what should have been a lopsided battle between the 2nd ranked team in Spanish Fork and the 30th ranked team, Warner Canyon. However, so far it's been very competitive. Each team's going 5 runs. That one getting hit off for a foul ball. Both teams at 5 runs here in the 9th inning. Down thrown for the 2nd strike. Count now 0-2. Down thrown wide for ball number 1. And if Warner Canyon can pull this thing off, it will be an excellent moral victory showing they beat such a high-ranked team. However, it's doubtful they'd be able to make their way through the upper bracket of these playoffs. Spanish Fork, if they lose and get into the loser's bracket, they will probably remain in that bracket until either the finals or the semifinals. Whereas even if Corner Canyon wins, they'll probably be bumped out of the winner's bracket with the next game, considering the competition that is increasing with every game. That will also be foul ball, bringing it 2-2. So really more of a, what I believe would be more of a moral victory for Corner Canyon. However, this victory really holds a lot more value for Spanish Fork, because if they lose this one, that one will be hit and go over to the shortstop, will be thrown to first, and we'll see what they call. They'll call an out. So that'll be out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. And as I was saying, this win should mean a lot more to Spanish Fork. They're coming in looking to win a state championship, ranked number 2. But if they make this, if they lose here, then they could very well have to win 2 games in a row down the stretch in the finals against a better team than this Corner Canyon team. So you don't want to lose your first game early, as Spanish Fork is in danger of doing here. That one hit high and over us for strike number 1. The count now 1-1. Sorensen, however, throwing a lot better in these last 2 innings. Down, hit over his head, wasn't able to get the glove up in time. Will be over to the fielder, but not before Connor Ebling can get to first base. That'll bring up Andrew Aston for Corner Canyon. Down hit, over past first baseman, and over to the fielder. That'll give them enough time to get the runners on first and third. They'll just make sure that that does not score a run. The fairly large Corner Canyon crowd here, letting them know their approval. So Spanish Fork will take a second on the mound and discuss how they're going to stop the score here. Looks like they may be seeing another pitching change here. Looks like they'll be bringing in number 23 as the new pitcher. That is Hall. I'll start getting warmed up even as he's standing there. And Hall, a junior for Spanish Fork. Actually does not have any pitching data on Max Pretz. So we'll see how he is able to play it out here. A gutsy and risky move here by the Spanish Fork coaching staff. Sorensen had been not pitching a shutout style game, however pitching very well since he got put in. Has had a couple mishaps here, obviously, to get the runners on first and third. Or excuse me, looks like it was not Hall that came in at all. He did come in, but he would not be the pitcher. Instead, Tay Newman will be the new pitcher. Newman, a sophomore, not coming in with too much pitching experience. Still a similar situation as I was accounting for earlier. Bring in a fresh pitcher in the 9th inning. Risky strategy here. We'll see if those few pitches can get him warmed up enough to close this thing out for Spanish Fork.
Now batting the first baseman, number 9, Braden Wingett.
Only one out so far in the inning. Braden Wingett comes to the plate. And there'll be a stolen base there. Excellent timing of that one as the ball came in. So the count now 1-0 with men on second and third. Braden Wingett not a top hitter, just an average hitter for Corner Canyon. However, he may not need to be. All he needs to do here is get either a small hit to right field that doesn't get caught, or some type of bunt anywhere in the area actually, and they'll have a good chance of scoring. Down swung on hard. That will be strike number 1. The count 2-1. Down connected on over to left field, not where you want it, but they'll try to get it over to first, and they'll do it in time. Good move by the runner on third not to advance, so they'll still have one more chance here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Now batting the center fielder, number 14, Nicholson Garrett.
That'll bring up Nicholson Garrett, number 14. Down below and in the dirt. Petrol collected in time to avoid any type of advancement from the runners. So the count now 1-0. I don't think when Spanish Fork came into this thing, they were expected to be challenged all the way up to the 9th inning. They want to get out of this one and call it a day. That one thrown in for a strike. A good sign for Spanish Fork. Count now 1-1. And down thrown in for strike number 2. So 2 strikes, 2 outs. Needs one more here. Situation like this is going to be very nerve-wracking for Nickel Garrett, who swings on that one, gets it high and into the outfield. This could be an easy catch, and it is. Dugout will rush the field, congratulating their fielders for what they were just able to accomplish. That one, of course, courtesy of Higginson in the outfield getting that catch. So let me for a second discuss the last inning. Meanwhile, we will take a minute to thank our sponsors. Are, of course, the Car Guys, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, MVP Sports, sporting goods for all seasons, T-Jack's Pizza, Mikhail Christian & Wise, attorneys at law, Dickerson Automotive, the finest repairs with personal care, State Farm, Lance Wilson. Thanks for all you do in making this broadcast possible. I'd also like to invite you one last time, or possibly not the last time, depending on how this inning goes, but to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Just look for Spanish Fork 17. Find rebroadcast and up-to-date content and what we're up to over at Spanish Fork 17. So getting back down to the baseball field here. Take a look at this game so far, and so far it's really been great fielding that have kept both teams in the game. However, that seemed to have been a good pitching change by Spanish Fork. That last inning closed out by Tay Newman, the sophomore relief pitcher rather. That'll bring up
Leading off for the Dons.
Number 11,
in the bottom of the ninth
Kai
inning.
Nilsson to lead off for the
The
Dons.
designated hitter number 11 side, Nilsson.
That one just tipped for strike number 1. That one hit high and far, could possibly be a home run. And it will be! The perfect ending to a hard-fought game in 9 innings. Kai Nilsson coming in with the home run hit.
Your final from Nelson Field.
The team swarms Kai Nilsson. That excellent hit over left field, over the fence, will end the game with a home run. The final score, 6-5, Spanish Fork. Spanish Fork able to keep Corner Canyon scoreless for the last 7 innings. They were able to keep Spanish Fork scoreless, however, for a few innings to extend that game. But in the end, that great hit by Kai Nilsson seals the deal. We'll take a quick break here and have a little bit of post-game analysis for a second on the other side. Stay with us.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to this post-game analysis of the game that you just saw if you were with us between the Spanish Fork Dons and Corner Canyon. An excellent game by all accounts, one that we really weren't expecting coming in. And you see the Spanish Fork team held up there. They were the winners of this game, 6-5 rather, advantage Spanish Fork. Just a wild game there, having Corner Canyon come out in the second inning and score 5 straight runs. That was to then give them the lead 5-2 at that point, and Spanish Fork just fought back the rest of the game, scoring 2 more runs in the third and 1 in the fifth, and then finally in that 9th inning able to seal the deal. This game, it's really was a battle between the fielding and the pitching being, mediocre pitching at best. However, the fielding very good to keep the score down. But then there at the end, I was thinking the whole game, who should be the MVP of the game? But with that last play, who can you give it to besides Kai Nilsson? Kai Nilsson able to hit that home run there over the left fence. And who would have thought that would come after so many innings of hits that were just being caught and runless innings? Finally able to break free and just hit it clean over the fence. He seals the deal there, and so for that we'll give him the MVP Sports MVP player of the game. And with that, we'd like to close here with the Spanish Fork 17 broadcast of this matchup between Spanish Fork Dons and Corner Canyon. I'd like to invite you to join us for the next game. That will be on Monday, the 22nd. Spanish Fork will play at 4:30. That matchup will be against the winner of the Salem Hills Sky versus Skyridge game that was also going on today at the same time. So join us then, and also join us for the next broadcast on Spanish Fork 17, which will be tomorrow at 4, and that will be the Spanish Fork softball team. So join us then, and until then, see you around.